Welcome to Learn to Live Stress-Free. This is Christine Wright with Dr. Robert Wright Jr. of www.stressfreenow.info.
Hi, this is Dr. Bob, the stress and pain relief doctor. I'm still bundled up because it was very, very chilly here this morning. I'm in Rostock, Germany, and I believe the city is called Vandermeer. I know my pronunciation is not that good, but we are about 3 hours by train from Berlin. And what I wanted to talk to you today about was for you to consider doing a random act of kindness. And although that might sound like a big deal, it really isn't. One of the most interesting things is that a recent study showed that 95% of teenagers have done a random act of kindness with no expectation of return in the last 2 years. And so that's a really good sign. You know, often we talk about teenagers being selfish, but we forget that teens are people. And so doing a random act of kindness benefits both the giver and the receiver. So the research is very, very clear. When the receiver gets something unexpected, there's smiles and sometimes laughter, and depending on what the need is, it can just be the type of thing where the person just feels very, very blessed and thankful. On the other hand, the giver, what studies show is that when you give without expectation, it boosts your mood, which means that it spikes your parasympathetic nervous system. And the other thing is that typically, and this is anecdotally, that down the road, that giver never knows when the universe will circle around and give them some unexpected gift or other good thing from the universe. And so that has been my experience. Sometimes I remember the first time I was going through a toll booth, and this is when they had the manual human beings in the toll booth as two toll booth takers. And the lady said to me, she said, "Oh, the car in front of you paid your toll." So momentarily I was dumbfounded because that had never happened to me before. But that actually was a beautiful moment, because at a future time, I paid the toll from somebody else, the car behind me. And then not only did I feel good, but when the car caught up with me, there were kids, the family in the car, and they were all waving at me, thanking me for paying their toll. And so that was a beautiful moment. And so it can be something as simple as that. You know, I remember there was a homeless guy on the street in Manhattan. And you know, I'm always leery of just giving the person money when they're telling me that they're hungry. And so I said, "Come on, I'm going to take you into the deli and you can get whatever you want." And so he got a sandwich and a hot coffee and a couple other things. And this way I know that at least he spent the money on food. And I felt much better. Another time, I remember this situation almost put me into tears. Actually, I was crying. What happened was I had parked my car in Manhattan and gone into a Chinese restaurant. And when I came out of the restaurant, I saw a gentleman eating out of the garbage. He was actually picking through the garbage. And then as I was finishing up my Chinese food, and I hadn't eaten all of it, I saw that he started to eat out of the garbage. And so at that moment, I had that sense of, oh my gosh, this guy is really hungry. He's not just pretending to look through the garbage for bottles and cans to get the 5 cent deposit, he is really hungry. So I got out of the car and I said to the guy, I said, "Are you really hungry?" He says, "Are you kidding me? Because I'm starved." So I said, "Listen, let's. I don't want you to take this food that I have. Let's go into the Chinese restaurant, and I'll get you whatever you want." And that was an amazing moment, I think, for him and me. So I just, it was an individual thing. I saw a need, and I felt that I wanted to take that action. So would like you to consider doing a random act of kindness today, and that includes doing a random act of kindness for family and friends. You know, often we treat strangers better than people in our own family or our best friends. And I have seen that over and over again, where I've been stunned and I said, "Hey, you know this person all your life. Why are you treating them like this? You just did a kind act for somebody you don't even know." And then usually like a frown comes over and they're like, "Well, you know, this is how we behave, etc." Well, that's not acceptable. So the thing is, this notion of treating strangers better than you treat people in your own family, that is utter nonsense. So we need to cut that kind of behavior out. So if you're doing that, if you're bullying people in your family or just saying mean things to people that you've known for years just because you've known them for years, consider putting them in the stranger category where you treat people with respect. That's what I tell people that I know that get out of line. I'm saying, "Hey, listen, I've seen over the years how you're nice to people outside of the family. So I don't want to hear any lip." So this is Dr. Bob. If you want to have more fun in your day, consider doing an act of kindness with no expectation of return, and watch how your life will bloom and blossom. So this is Dr. Bob from Stress Free Now podcast, telling you to do what you know already, which is take care of yourself. Self-care isn't selfish, it's smart. From stressfreenow.info, until next time, be safe and be well.